Hi guys, I'm Mark, a scuba diving instructor from Safe Diving.
And I'm Mark Evans, Editor-in-Chief of Scuba Diver magazine.
So in this series of videos, we're going to be taking a closer look at an entire range of the newest scuba diving equipment, and all of these videos are sponsored by Mike's Dive Store, the UK's largest scuba diving retailer, and they hold most of these items in stock at all times.
They're also doing their bit for sustainability by moving to eco-friendly packaging. And they also donate 1% of all their online profits to the marine conservation charity Sea Changers.
So let's jump straight in. Okay, so here we have the Scubapro MK25 EVO with the D420 second stage. So this is a lovely regulator set. It looks a little bit different compared to a sort of traditional design, but trust me, it is actually really nice to breathe from. If we take a look at the first stage first, so the MK25 EVO, so this is a lovely first stage. This is a 5-port swivel turret, and that basically means that you have 4 low pressure ports around this turret, and these are going to swivel around, and that just makes hose routing much more natural, and the hoses naturally kind of move as you pull on them, so you're not going to damage your hoses too much by pulling them, just by moving around. You also have this 5th port coming straight out of the top, so that's particularly useful for if you're diving on twin sets, so you can have that sort of extra sort of hose coming out of there, especially if you're dry suit diving. It gives you a bit more flexibility about where hoses come out from. Moving down the first stage, you can see we've got these little holes on the inside, and then you might be able to see it on the close-up, but it's pretty small. You actually have a blue coating on that main spring on the inside. Now, this is Scubapro's X-Dis, which basically improves the cold water performance. It's a little bit like a Teflon coating on that spring, which means that ice finds it really hard to actually form on those moving parts. Again, it's improving the cold water performance, so the regulator is less likely to freeze up. 2 high pressure ports, one on either side, just means that you can dive with a submersible pressure gauge and a wireless air transmitter if you want. Right now, this is in the A-clamp or the yoke configuration. You can also get it in DIN, depending on your preference. Moving from the first stage, then connecting the 2 stages, we have a rubber hose, traditional rubber hose. They're nice and tough, and they're quite sort of neutrally buoyant. They tend to stay where you want them to in the water. And then we move down to the second stage. So this is the D420. D420, as I said earlier, slightly unusual shape. What they basically did is they moved the diaphragm a little bit down, so it's a little bit lower, which actually improves the performance and the sort of the way it breathes. It's one of those things, if you get a traditional second stage and then you swap to this one, you can notice a bit of a difference in that sort of breathe quality. One thing that I like about it is that it has a hinged purge button on the front, so even if you've got really big clunky gloves, you can push it a little bit just to get a little bit of gas, or you can push it a lot to really kind of sort of purge that second stage. On the top, we have big Venturi adjustment control, so this is going to prevent it from free flowing. All it basically does is redirect the airflow on the inside of the second stage, so as soon as it starts to free flow, it interrupts itself and stops it. The mouthpiece is held on by a reusable cable tie, which is a really useful sort of piece of kit. That way, if you ever need to change this one because you've bitten through it or for whatever reason, you can take that off and then reuse it, so you don't need to carry a whole bunch of spares in your kit bag. Okay guys, so that was the Scubapro MK25 EVO with the D420 second stage. A great regulator. It's at home both in warm and cold water, so you can dive it anywhere. It's a little bit unusual as far as the kind of design, but actually it does breathe really, really nicely. For a full range of regulators, you can visit mikesdivestore.com, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to see more like it. If you're still hanging around, you can click on this video here to visit our Scuba Diving Basics channel, and then you can head over there if you want something a little bit more advanced.